4 ways to improve your strategic thinking skills. If you ever received feedback that you need to be more strategic, you know how frustrating it can feel. To add insult to injury, the feedback rarely comes with any concrete guidance on what to do about it. One of my coaching clients, a manager of HR, was in this situation, and she explains. I was just told to think a bigger picture and to be more strategic. It felt like I had been given just the word by the definition. It just wasn't helpful. So, what can you do when this happens to you? And it's very keen that it could happen to you. You can take some steps to be more strategic in your current role. Strategic thinkers challenge the status quo and get people talking about underlying assumptions. 4 ways to improve your strategic thinking skills. Number 1. No. Observe and seek trends. Our manager Lisa wasn't seeing the big picture because of the amount of work she had and the pace at which she needed to get it done. She often took a heads-down approach to her job and failed to lift up and observe both internal and external trends. She was missing key information that could help her focus, prioritize, and be proactive in addressing talent issues for her fast-growing company. Because Lisa approached her job in a transactional manner, simply getting the next hire, she didn't recognize that she needed a completely new approach to recruitment and retention. To be strategic, you need a solid understanding of the industry context, trends, and business drivers. An intellectual appreciation of the importance of bringing in current data and seeking trends isn't enough. You also have to, and please, this is important, my fellow managers, don't rely too much on data. Routinely explore and synthesize internal trends in your day-to-day work. For example, pay attention to the issues to get raised over and over in your organization and synthesize the common obstacles your colleagues face. 2. Be proactive about connecting with peers, both in your organization and in your industry, to understand their observations of the marketplace. Then, share your findings across your network. Understand the technique and unique information and perspective that your functions provides and define its impact on the corporate level strategy. You have to make a link between your functions and the corporate level strategy. This is crucial, my fellow managers. 2. Think. Ask the tough questions. With a fresh understanding of trends and issues, you can practice using strategic thinking by asking yourself, how do I broaden what I consider? Questions are the language of strategy. Please practice asking the tough questions. Our manager Lisa came to appreciate that her life and prior experience gave her a unique yet myopic strategic lens. So she pushed herself to ramp up her perspective, taking and inquiry skills. By becoming more curious and looking at information from different points of view, She was able to reduce her myopia and see different possibilities, approaches, and potential outcomes. For example, while working on an employee retention project, she asked herself, what does success look like in year 1? What does it look like in year 3? What could impact the outcome in a negative way? What are the early signs of success failure? What do business partners need to understand to ensure the project's success? Do the outcomes support the broader goals of the organization? By asking these tough questions first, she recognized that she could better engage with colleagues and senior executives early in ways that would benefit the project and would help shape the perception that she was thoughtful and strategic. 3. Speak, sound, and know strategy. Strategic thinkers also know how to speak their language. They prioritize and sequence their thoughts. They know about key stakeholders. They structure their verbal and written communication in a way that helps their audience focus on their core message. They challenge the status quo and get people talking about underlying assumptions. Those who are really skilled walk people through the process of identifying issues, shaping common understanding, and framing strategic choices. If this sounds complex, that's because it is. Strategy is complex. It's not an easy task. It requires critical thinking. It requires objective setting, linking your job to strategy. But there are ways you can start practicing these skills. Add more structure to your written and verbal communication. Group and logically order your main points. Keep things as succinct as possible. Prime your audience by giving them a heads up on the overshaping and overreaching topics you want to address, so that they are prepared to engage in a higher level conversation, not just the tactical details or the operational details. Strategy is a move up from daily activities and operations. Practice giving the answer first, instead of building up to your main point. Our manager Lisa didn't realize that the way she spoke created a perception that she was not strategic. She set about changing that. First, by focusing her one-on-ones with her Chief Human Resources Officer on higher level discussions and leaving tactical issues to email. She chose 1 or 2 strategic areas to concentrate on and frame issues in the context of the CHRO and the CEO top priorities. 4. Act. Make time for thinking and embrace conflict. In the early phase of our work together, our manager Lisa kept a jam-packed schedule, running from meeting to meeting. She found it difficult to contribute strategically without having the time to reflect on the issues and ponder options. Recognizing that she was not bringing her full value to the table, she started to evaluate her tasks on the basis of urgency and importance, as outlined in the Stephen Covey's 2x2 matrix. She stopped going to meetings she didn't need to be at. She blocked out thinking time on her calendar and honored it, just as she would for other meetings. and she fought back the initial guilt of, am I doing real work when I'm just sitting at my desk thinking? Lisa also practiced other key skills. She learned to embrace debate and invite challenge without letting it get personal, so that she could ask tough questions. To do this, she focused on issues, not people. She focused on problems, not people, and used neutral peers to challenge her thinking. To manage the inevitable ambiguity that arises when one asks more questions, Lisa also learned to clarify her decision-making criteria, allowing her to better act in the face of imperfect information. The quest to build your strategic skills can be uncomfortable. At first, you might feel like you're kicking up sand in an ocean. Your vision will be blurred as you manage the unsettling feelings that come with challenging your own assumptions and gaining comfort with conflict and curiosity. Once this dust settles, however, and you can contribute at a higher level, you'll be glad you took the risk, because you will be putting more value to your job, table, and organization.